Hello, beautiful creators and architects of the new earth. I'm inspired to hop on today for a live, which I haven't done in a long time. And I want to talk about some misconceptions and untruths about spiritual energetic architecture and about practicing spirit and energy, practicing with spirit and energy in your architecture practice. So the world is awakening, and millions of people on the planet are awakening to the truth that we are spiritual beings. We have a soul, we have a spirit, and we are not just material form. We are not just physical beings. And there's a whole world of subtle energetics that animates the physical world. Many fields, science, medicine, physics, like whatever, you name it, is waking up to this truth. Okay, or these fields are waking up to this truth. I'm speaking to the women architects who hear the call to bridge ancient wisdom, spiritual wisdom, the world of energy with their architecture practice. And after many years of mentoring women architects to help them to feel confident in using their intuitive gifts in their architecture practice, helping women to actually leverage their intuitive gifts to build a solid, viable architecture practice that actually attracts clients, actually attracts abundant money flow. It actually attracts a creative, easeful design practice, okay? A lot of the women who come to me fear that they will either lose clients when they start speaking openly about the world of spirit and energy in their architecture practice. And they feel like they need to hide behind, and I say this with the utmost respect for my colleagues who are in the fields of biophilic design and regenerative design and biomimicry and there's a few other words, neuroarchitecture and whatever. And I certainly don't claim to be an expert in the field of neuroarchitecture or whatever. What I see on a deep level, though, is there are women architects who are gravitating, who are practicing and studying these things, or who use those labels, right? This is the kind of architecture I practice, but really they're actually hiding behind those definitions to feel like they constantly need to have that scientific validation, or it's like a safer way of practicing, a safer vocabulary to use. And that's all fine. That's all fine. And there are valuable, there are valuable aspects to regenerative architecture, of course. Biophilic, of course. Biomimicry, of course. Of course. But what I'm seeing is that women are not ready. I'm talking about intuitive spiritual women. I'm not saying that everyone. Ultimately, it's your choice if you want to practice spiritual energetic architecture. I'm talking to the ancient temple builders of the future. I'm talking to you who longs to build beauty by fully expressing, by fully unleashing your spiritual gifts. unlocking your spiritual gifts. Okay, and I'm pointing to the larynx because often the block is in and around the larynx. Of course, it's in other parts of our bodies, but there's a repression, a suppression of your spiritual gifts. And okay, what does this have to do? Like, how is this going to help you to run a successful architecture practice? How is this going to help you to attract ideal clients? I'm going to get to this. So I want to first cover these untruths, these misconceptions that women architects are actually coming to me with. They think that if they start talking about the world of spirit and energy, they are going to be shunned from society. They're going to be ridiculed. They're going to be laughed at, and they're going to be like, they're going to lose all of their clients. They're not going to have any work. They're going to be hungry and starving, out on the streets without a house, whatever. I mean, I'm talking like the thoughts can go to some pretty, intense extremes. And I've seen it, and I've witnessed it in my own life, in my own unfoldment. And I hear you, I see you, I witness you, I get it. Okay, the programming runs deep. The programming runs deep, and it began from the very first year of architecture school, and it continues to run within the current architecture paradigm. Are things shifting and changing? Do I see positive moves and improvements? Yeah, absolutely. But there is still people are still dancing around the word spirit. They're dancing around it. They are not fully wanting to embody it and step into it. Okay, so what are some other untruths? That you are going to lose your family and friends. Now, it could be, I'm not trying to make any promises to all of you. If you start speaking openly about the spiritual world in your architecture practice, some people are not going to be okay with it. Some people are going to, again, referring back to what the first misconception was, some people are going to call you crazy. Some people are going to not want to talk to you anymore. You may lose people, but you're not going to lose the people who truly love you and unconditionally. Who truly love you unconditionally. I thought that I was going to lose my husband. I thought that at a certain point in my spiritual growth, I thought that we just were so different and that he didn't get me. And it just, and then in those thoughts, I was separating us even further. I was drawing like a massive red line between us. But that was my projection. That was my projection. Why? Because I was dissatisfied with myself. I was not happy with who I was. Why? Because I was hiding. I was hiding. And I wasn't fully stepping into my leadership, my purpose, my sacred duty, and I was hiding. And I was blaming it on other people around me and criticizing other people around me. The more I surrendered to who I truly am and listened to the divine feminine that wanted to rise through me and listened to my spirit guides who are guiding me to bridge spirit with form. Bridge spirit with form. Don't use any other kind of, I'm going to say something that may ruffle people's feathers. Don't use any other kind of term that may appease or make society happy. It's It's a less powerful term to use. No, my mission is to bridge spirit with form. My mission is to be a servant, a true servant to the angels in the cosmos, to the nature spirits on earth, to God, and to build incredible architecture through that union. Now, when I speak like this, a lot of women architects are thinking, oh, that's great. This is so great. I love it too. Aisha, you're just like, it's like music to my ears. And I so feel you with every single part of my entire being. This is exactly what I'm meant to do. I know it. But then they go back to their life and they either decide to, you know what? I can't, this is not possible in this lifetime. They think it's not possible. They think either they belong to a past life, and like that was the life that they led in a past life, and they could never possibly do it now. Right? You could never possibly run a business. You could never possibly attract clients or projects. Actually speaking about spirit and energy. Okay? Or they think that they're too far ahead, which I've also had this issue where it's like, oh my God, I see what's possible for the future architecture. I see what's possible. I see how we can create it. I see how we can build it. But when you look around you, right, in terms of people, and I don't know, maybe economy or culture, religion, whatever you want to call it, your environment, it feels like it's not matching. And there's this huge chasm between you and your visions and the status quo, right? The other misconception is that you're not going to get paid top dollar for your intuitive gifts. And there's some layers to this, because there are women who are spiritual, and this happens with non-architects as well who are spiritual. There's even like professionals out there now who are helping spiritual people make money, because what the problem is that some of you think that charging money for your spiritual gifts is wrong. It's wrong. It's not good. It's not the right thing to do, because ultimately spiritual things or spiritual gifts or spiritual healing should be free. And to a certain degree, I would agree with that, but only in a context where we are so evolved, people. When we are so evolved, and that's going to take some millions more years, by the way. Let's just be real, okay? Because we do need to evolve. That's a time when we actually don't have money. We don't need money. We don't have the structures that are currently maybe limiting us in terms of the material world, finances, money, schedules, time, whatever, cycles of life and death, right? But we have a long way to go until we get to that point. So going back to charging money for your spiritual gifts and charging money for spiritual architecture, there's a lot of women architects who I've mentored who really struggle with charging the money. I was going to say asking, but it's not about asking. You are doing a high and holy service for your clients, and it's yeah. So that's one of the misconceptions, that you can't charge good money for spiritual energetic architecture. And Another thing behind that is there's a program, there's an agenda, there is mind control, okay, that's been inserted into all of our brains, all of our, and beyond our brains. I'm sure there's experts that can talk a bit more about exactly the mechanics around this. But there is mind control, let's just say. I'm just picturing like these chips being inserted into all of our bodies. And they get inserted in many different ways. From our upbringing, from our culture, from our schooling, our education, whether it be kindergarten, whether it be university, it doesn't matter, okay? And part of the programming is that we have been told that talking about the spiritual world is not a good thing unless maybe you're an official priest, let's say in the Catholic order or the Protestant order, or you are an imam, right, in the Muslim tradition. And maybe even you have some orders and positions in mystical traditions, right? And to a certain extent, that's true. I'm not saying that everyone needs to go and start becoming like a preacher of religion or something. I'm just trying to break things down here. That was always reserved for those people, right? Talking about spiritual things in the past was always reserved for those people. And it was actually, for the most part, in my opinion, a correct thing, because the general public were not evolved enough, okay? But now we have the sacred seed, the seed within us, the God seed within us, the universe seed, the goddess seed, the mother nature seed, however you want, the source seed. It is within us, and we have every right to form our own relationship with God and with energy and the spirit realms and the spirit of the land, okay? And we have every right to connect with those energies and to speak about them. I don't recommend that everyone starts speaking about it without knowing anything or without having any kind of experience, but everyone on this planet, everyone, I'm talking everyone on this planet, has the capacity to tap their intuition, tap their spiritual gifts, and connect with higher truths in order to make their life easier, in order to bring more joy, more abundance, more beauty into this world. Okay? In order to be a better mother, in order to be a better wife, in order to be a better leader in your community, in order to be a better sister, a better auntie. Okay, I'm trying to bring it really grounded here. In order to build amazing architecture. So going back to the programming, we were told in subtle ways, and sometimes in very direct ways, and especially women too. I've noticed it in also the culture that I grew up in, that we cannot be transmitters of spirit. We cannot speak about the world of spirit. That's reserved for someone else, or it could also be reserved for men. Or that the woman, the witch, right, the oracle, she remains in this kind of mysterious space and place. And this is okay too. There's that archetype is very valuable. But when we start when there are women who start speaking openly, especially women architects who start speaking openly with a lot of specifics about architecture, about spiritual architecture, people actually start to have issues with it. So, where am I going with this? The programming. Notice where it has been planted within you or implanted within you. And do you still have a story running in your head that you cannot attract clients? Bridging spirit with architecture. Do you still run a program in your head that you cannot charge top dollar, $20,000, $50,000, $100,000 for a design project? Because you're weaving spirit with energy. I had a side of me, a part of me, that because I wanted to heal everybody, I'm doing good work, everyone deserves it, right? I need to be able to reach a wide audience of people. And of course, I support that for you. If you really do see yourself as a leader that's really touching so many hearts worldwide, and you will, because the more and more people are awakening on this planet. But I don't want you, like, if it comes from a place of over-pleasing and contorting, shaping yourself into something, into a pretzel, is that what people say? Right? Like bending yourself into a pretzel, right? Like, and then it's just not you. It's not you. And you're trying to fit into what society is telling you need to be. Well, that made me sick. That made me chronically ill. It forced me to work like a machine. And that's a whole other topic that, I talk about a lot in my podcast episodes, on YouTube, is this work, overwork. Over-know. That's what's coming to me too. Over-know. You got to know this information and that information and this information and that information. You need to prove. You need the graphs. You need the charts. You need the data. You need the science-backed empirical blah, blah stuff. And of course, these are all good things to have. Yes, we want to have a balance between the masculine and feminine. But I really wonder what's the energetic behind that? What's the being behind that? In anthroposophy, I would call that Ahriman, right? Or not, I would. That is what the energy is called. It's the energy of trying to materialize every fucking thing without having any more sense of someone's genuine like impulse or genuine, I'm trying to find the word here. If any of you have a word here, add. Is this resonating with all of you? Without having a genuine sense, is this person good? Is this person coming from a place, coming from her heart? Is this person telling the truth? But that person doesn't need to give you a whole bunch of numbers and charts to get it across to you. You just know, you have a feeling, you have an intuition. There's also a moral aspect to this. Is this person in integrity with her values? Is this person showing up, dedicated, committed to her work every single day? Is this person holding a safe space for her clients? Is this person responding to your email when she promised that she would? And if she can't, she lets you know. Like, I'm just talking about some really basic qualities that are required to embody spiritual architecture, required to embody regenerative design, biophilic design. And excuse me, I'm a little bit, I just feel like we can get so caught up in these names and these definitions and titles. But what I'm super interested in, ultimately, is supporting you to step into your divine calling, your true soul's purpose, your joy. It's not just another title, women. It's not just another title. It's not just another one of these like letters that you put on, that you tag on the end of your name, bachelor of, master of, certified in this, and blah, 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 and the lead and the bream and the, all these titles. And that's also part of the programming, because the programming tells you that you're not enough. That your intuition is not enough. Your spiritual wisdom, your oracular capacities is not enough. And that you need to go and get another degree, go and get another title just to fit in and be accepted by the rest of society. But I'm going to tell you something. When I start talking about, when I say, what do I do? Okay, there's some women architects who ask me, like, Aisha, well, what do you say when you're like meeting people, you're at a networking event, and there's all different kinds of people, business people, investors, collaborators, whoever, right? Or potential collaborators, that's a better way of saying it. And I just openly say, like, what do you say? And they're like, what do you say? Do you say it? Do you openly say it? Yeah, I openly say it. Hi, my name is Aisha. I'm an architect that bridges spirit with form. I co-create with the nature spirits. I co-create with the spirit of the land to help you birth the optimal blueprint for your dream sanctuary. Now, there are some people on the receiving end who would make assumptions like going like, I wonder how they're going to respond to that. He looks like maybe like a really formal business guy or whatever. So many times, women, these people's eyes light up. Why? Because you press that sacred seed button that is within all of us. Something gets activated. They may not know exactly what it is, but they get so excited. They get lit up. Some may be kind of like, oh, that's kind of interesting. But something moves within them. Again, they may not be conscious of it. Something moves within them. Okay. Next. This part about I'm not going to be able to attract enough clients. Like, okay, Aisha, there's some people who get me, who can talk about spirituals, woo-woo stuff. But there's nobody. There's only 3 people that I can connect with about this stuff. This is also a lie. This is not true. This is not true. There are gazillions of people on the planet who are awakening and who know with every ounce of their being that they are meant to create a sanctuary. I'm talking about clients for you women architects. They are meant to create a sanctuary that is aligned with nature, aligned with their soul's purpose. It's a temple. It's a new vessel that will help them to manifest their highest dreams and goals, whether they want to build a hotel, a resort, a garden, a community, whatever that might be. And there are people on this planet who are actively seeking spirit architects. Now, they may not be aware that there are architects like this on the planet, but their soul is seeking. So they're starting to research, they're starting to look into nature-inspired architects who do nature-inspired work, ecological designs, and regenerative, biophilic, right? All of that. But their soul is actually deeply yearning for something deeper. Something way deeper than just sustainability. Something way deeper than just biomimicry. Something way deeper. And so one of the things that happens with the mind is, because you feel like, oh, there's not that many people in the world, well, you just continue to propagate that thought. And people who are listening to me right now, hi, it's nice to see you all. Most of you are seasoned in your personal and spiritual growth. Otherwise, you wouldn't be in this space with me. And all of you know that in order to manifest something, it's not helpful to wake up every single morning and say, there's nobody in this world that I can connect with. I'm alone. And people are going to think I'm crazy. People are going to think that nobody wants the kind of spiritual architecture that I create. People are going to think that I'm crazy, right? That's not helpful. That's not helpful. And in the Sacred Blueprint Certification Program, I support you with the tools and the right mindset to be owning the fact that you are a kick-ass rock star priestess architect, okay? And that millions of people want your work, want to co-create with you. Millions of people are lining up to apply for your program. That's a whole other piece. You apply to work with you. Apply. Architects, most architects, I would probably say 99.9% of architects do not have application forms to work with them. And that's a whole other piece that I'm going to be guiding you through in the Sacred Blueprint Certification Program. So women, you're getting my rant right now, and it's time, because there's some women that I can feel and sense and know that you are making excuses and hiding behind being busy or not having, enough time, or this is not your next step, but really it is. It is. You can't hide anymore. I don't want to scare you. Sometimes I can be a little bit, maybe perhaps intimidating, but I do not. I'm coming from a place, a genuine love for all of you and a genuine care for you to succeed. And I'm just here to call on your bullshit, okay? And your blind spots. And you can't half-ass this work, women, all right? Because if you keep on splitting yourself in two, right? The architect by day and the energy healer by night, and separating those two worlds, okay? Adjusting yourself constantly for people in your life, environments, situations, work, whatever. You are going to get so depleted. It's like, I always see the picture of an acrobat over acrobatizing. I know that's not a word. It's like there's just so much acrobatics required. Or I think of Clark Kent, Superman, right? Superman by day, by night, whatever. No, he's Clark Kent by day, right? Superman by night, or whatever. But it just takes so much energy to change clothes in the booth. Stop changing clothes. Just be Superman. Be Superwoman the whole way. Be Superman as a wife. Be Superwoman. Be Superwoman as a wife. Be Superwoman in your architecture practice, be Superwoman. Wear the outfit the whole time. When you're in the bathroom, when you're walking down the street, when you're at the grocery store, when you're with your children, when you're with your family. And I'm not saying you have to be always in the same mood all the time, but I'm talking about if you want and desire good money, joy, radiant health, abundant client flow, okay? Working on incredible projects without compromising your fulfillment, your joy, your purpose, your mission, okay? You're gonna need to be willing to merge the two sides of you, okay? And fully speak openly about spirit. Not just save the spiritual, energetic stuff, only for certain clients and only for this. It's just so exhausting. It's so exhausting, women. It's exhausting. Is this resonating with you? Comment, share. What are your ahas? I'm a generator in human design. Share with me. It's exhausting. And what ends up happening is your body gets really confused. It's like because your inner world is communicating with your body and saying one thing, right? I'm really a priestess architect. I'm really a priestess architect. I'm really a healer architect. I'm really a spirit architect. But on the outside, you keep dimming your light. You keep contorting what you say. You keep putting like strawberries and sprinkle fuzzy stuff all around your words just to make other people feel comfortable. Yes, I love being Superman. No more clothes changing. Yes, exactly. I love being Superman. No more clothes changing. How did it make a difference in your life, Rodele? Share. What's the difference when you step into your full Superman, Superwoman, Superman? Who cares about the gender? That's a whole other topic that I don't want to, that's a whole other can of worms I don't want to open up right now. Because we were men, we were women in all of our past lives, and yeah. It's also, look, when you, there's also another fear that I see and I've heard, and women have communicated with me, that they're gonna somehow disappear into the ethers if they enter into a deep program, a program for spiritual energetic architecture. Like, oh, she's going to take me into like all these portals and it's understand. I'm not, please, I'm not, making fun of you or, by any means. There's a word that wants to come. I'm not mocking you, okay? What I'm saying is, I can get that because I am a deep person, okay? And for holistic architecture to be successful and for you to have a successful business, you're gonna need to look at all aspects of your life. And I want you to be equipped with the right tools, okay, to connect with spirit in a healthy way. And in order for that to happen, you need to practice, okay? You need to be willing to go deep, but I'm not going to be I'm trained in helping you to do it in a safe manner. I know I repeated that, but I think it's really important for you to know that because, there's a lot of cultural programming and religious programming around co-creating with the spirit of the land. What is the spirit of the land? Are you going to be getting me to talk to ghosts all the time? Or are you going to be getting me to, am I going to be unlocking so many of my portals and my auras that I'm going to turn into a crazy person? These are actually valid concerns. And I'm so open to all of your questions. If you have concerns like this, message me, come to me, write me, email me, okay? I am highly trained in this practice. I'm a certified alchemical energy healer. I'm trained in geomancy. I am self-trained in geomancy. And I have a lot of experience holding space for clients and for women architects, for people, right? For healing and energy. And I want to support you in being grounded in this practice. Grounded in this practice. Okay? You are not going to fly off into the ethers. I promise you that. Okay? And if you do a sojourn in the ethers, it may be because you actually need to retrieve some information there. All right? But I guarantee you will come back to earth. And you're going to come back to earth with keys and codes that are so crucial and critical to apply for the future architecture that you are going to see how much magic and opportunities will start to unfold and appear in front of your eyes and in your life, okay, both personal and professional, as a result of connecting with spirit. This is the reason why there is so much programming around telling people, okay, brainwashing people into thinking that it's wrong to charge money for your spiritual gifts, that it's wrong to speak openly about spirit in the architecture practice. Why? Because there are forces in this world who do not want you to have that medicine. They do not want you to get those keys and codes. They don't want you to have access to them. They don't want you to be rich. They don't want you to lead a good life. Why? Because they want you to constantly be dependent on the pharmaceutical companies. They want you to constantly depend on the on social media, right? On your phones. They want you to be dependent on AI. But the kind of spiritual architecture and the keys and codes that you have access to, and parts of you are terrified of it, and I get it. I was like that too, okay? I've moved through it all right? And I'm so happy to share my personal story with you, and I have been sharing it. But if you are curious, send me a message. I'm happy to connect, okay? They do not want us to have access to pure, natural, organic spirit technology. And I don't think that everyone should have access to that pure, natural, organic spirit technology, especially if they are not ripe and ready to be able to wield it and steward it. That's the whole point of the mystery schools. That's the whole point of spiritual initiation. You can't just, snap your fingers and all of a sudden, you have it. You can do it. No. But there are powers in the world, or powers that were, that are reserving that spirit technology only for themselves because they have the money, they have the power, right? They're the ones who are controlling people through fear. Imagine, everyone, Spirit architects building the new earth, the new world, gardens, communities, master plans for the city through the high and holy spirit technology, spirit architecture, okay, that helps children flourish. Forms and architecture and buildings that help children flourish into good, strong, on purpose beings who are so in tuned with who they are. Imagine we create cities that support people to be moral and not kill each other. Imagine we create not kill each other, not rape each other, not violate each other. Imagine creating cities that help us to not be dependent on the paying electric bills, right? Mechanical heating. And I know this is not a new thing. There are so many amazing pioneers all around the world who are laying the grounds for this. And I'm not talking about smart cities. That's a whole other mechanism of control, in my opinion. Take or leave what I have to say, always, always. And it's another way of trying to plug us into a synthetic simulation that is not the reality of our world. That's the problem when we're creating architecture and we only have half of the coin. My dear colleague, Dorea Karim, Dr. Ibrahim Karim's daughter, the director of biogeometry, in one of our interviews together, she talked about that one side of the coin. And the one side is the masculine. And the masculine is very valuable. My masculine is very strong. I wouldn't have been able to birth the sacred blueprint and lead the sacred blueprint without my masculine. And I wouldn't be able to be an architect without my masculine. But the feminine side is missing and she's been repressed. And that's the side that can so easily, joyfully, without any efforting, access spiritual truths that are critical for your practical life on earth. The whole point of spiritual architecture is not just to stay floating like some spiritual guru. I'm just painting a picture here, like in a cave and just talking about spiritual architecture, right? We want to build it in real life. We want to help people. We want to help this world. We want to be able to meet people where they're at and hold space for them. But if you're missing the spiritual piece of the puzzle, you're just going to go around in circles and circles and circles and circles. And I don't care what kind of title and scientific data you have, you're just going to go around in circles, because if you do not understand how the world of energy operates, and if you do not understand and embody the substance that creates worlds, you will not be able to create architecture that is truly life-changing and transformational. I'm not saying it has to be perfect, everyone, okay? I mean, my own house, it's still not half finished, half full, half finished, okay? And I've had challenges with builders, I've had challenges with timing, and it's been such a joyful process. It's been so incredibly fulfilling. And when it comes to serving my clients, to be able to hold space for them to come back home to truly who they are, and design a space for them, with them, that honors their soul's purpose, honors their ultimate joy and health, and helps them step into the person that they elected to be before coming into their physical form. The Sacred Blueprint supports my clients to attract the most incredible builders, collaborators, investors, okay? It is the optimal blueprint that supports their own unique energetic. And there are so many people who are eager and ready to co-create with architects who weave spirit with architecture. There's a loud sound outside. I don't know if you can hear it. It's like a big bulldozer type. I think I'm finished. I think I'm finished, everyone. I'm done. No, I'm complete. I feel complete. What other untruths? I'm just trying to think here. Yeah, it's this validation piece. I tell you, it's such a sneaky one. You're constantly being told that you need to validate with scientific data. I don't want to repeat it, but to a certain extent, this is fine. But I'm talking about a real embodiment. And when you are embodied with your divine calling and your divine purpose, when you are truly embodied and you are a true servant of spirit and you co-create with with nature's intelligence, with Mother Earth, who is a living being, and you truly listen to places and the land and your clients' souls, the blueprints stream in with laser precision and you save so much time. I get to work out during the days. I get to go and do my groceries for my family during the day. I get to, and maybe for some of you, that's not the best, it's like, oh, what's so great about doing groceries? I'm just talking about the freedom that I have compared to working in corporate, working in an architecture office. Okay. I've worked in various scales of architecture offices, more corporate, also more intimate. And the 9 to, I was going to say 9 to 5, but it's really the 9 to 6 or 9 to 7, sometimes 9 to 9 in architecture, really depleted me. 5 days a week, sometimes 6 days a week, sometimes 7 days a week. And it did not make sense for me to be in that system. It was life-sucking. It felt soul enslaving. And I just always knew there was just something wrong with, something deeply wrong with that matrix. And the fact that I could only get like 2 weeks of holiday for the whole year, no wonder I was chronically ill. No wonder I was constantly sick. No wonder. No wonder I was also, like, I was overworking because it was so unaligned. I'm not saying that it's bad to work with other people and, have a company. I mean, I run a business, I have a team, but it's the setup, especially the computer work, sitting in front of the computer at the desk in a chair, This is one of the number one blockagers. I'm making up words as I go along with this live. That blocks your prana. Now, some chairs are really beautifully designed and they're ergonometric. Fine, that's valid, okay? But all day in that chair? No, no. I chucked my chair. Maybe I'll post a couple photos of my studio. I've done that before, but it's been a while since I shared my studio images. I've got a big platform with all my huge drawers underneath for all my architecture supplies and everything, drawing supplies. And I have like this, it's like an altar within an altar within an altar. And now the flow, it's moving through my body. And I realized, holy shit, of course. They've been blocking our flow for so long. How are we going to design beautiful spaces and beautiful buildings if we're just like in front of the computer like that? How? Some architects don't even visit sites anymore. They don't even go out anymore. Or they'll go and they're not really there and they just take pictures and then come back. And they look at a map and they just try to figure out how much square meterages they can shove onto the property. This is the epitome of materialism, people. And it is the reason why we are so sick. It is the reason why we are so fucked up. It is the reason why our children are depressed and have anxiety. It is the reason why you are miserable, really, because you're not fulfilled. And you're just in this hamster wheel, rat race. And for some of you who have broken free from the matrix, okay, and you've started your own design practice, everything, you're still operating based on the old consulting model. Check out my free webinar, Unlock Your Spirit Architect Mastery. Go to the link in my bio. You can get access to it. And I break it all down, okay? And I talk about what's possible with the Sacred Blueprint and what's possible in terms of how much income you can generate and be happy. Be happy. Be happy. Be free. Have fun. And heal your body and be a true, pure human, not some machine, not some machine. So if you have any questions about the Sacred Blueprint certification program, do not hesitate to message me. I do recommend, if you are someone a woman architect, landscape architect, interior architect who is really longing to bridge spirit with form, and you really resonate with the archetype of the priestess architect, you really resonate with all that I'm sharing, we are beginning the Sacred Blueprint certification program June 22nd. That's very soon. And it is a 12-month pathway where I am going to equip you with all you need to know to leverage your intuitive gifts with architecture so you can succeed and actually build a viable business. All right? This is very grounded work we're doing. And build the most beautiful architecture, the architecture of your dreams, and attract incredible clients doing it. Doors close for applications June 18th. What date is it? You've got 3 days to apply. Go to the link in my bio, okay? And there is a sign-up page for getting access to program and application details. Once you sign up, you get access to 2 walkthrough videos, okay? Guiding you through the program outline. I want you to watch them from beginning to end, all right? Okay, because there's a lot of women who are coming into my space who are making an awful lot of assumptions about the program without even, like, they sign up, but they're not even actually watching those videos. So watch it. Take a tea, okay? Cut out all distractions. Put your phone on silent, all right? I think they're almost about 30 minutes each, okay? I walk you through the program outline as well as the program application, okay? So a lot of your questions will be answered by watching those videos. If you still have questions, do not hesitate to PM me. We have a beautiful intimate circle, okay? It's not like a massive group of people where you're not going to get the high touch support. I love lasering in and making sure I support you one-on-one as well. The group is intimate. You're going to get that high touch support, and we're building a movement together, women. This is the deeper impulse behind the certification program. We are building a movement to birth the temples of our future, and we're going to co-create them together. All right. This is divine feminine leadership. Okay. No more competition. No more jealousy. No more, I'm going to go and off and do my own thing, and then do my own thing, and then I'm going to do my own thing, and then I'm going to do my own thing. I respect that, and I need you. I'm just going to be honest. I need you. I cannot build the blueprints of our new earth without you. And the sacred blueprint is about this greater, bigger vision and movement that we are building together. And I see the women who are certified in the sacred blueprint that we join forces and that we collaborate on projects together in the future. Okay. So there will be opportunities for this. The time of the martyr is over. The time of the lone wolf is also over. We are more powerful in numbers, all right? And so it's time to join forces. But first, I want to support you in gaining the confidence in your intuitive gifts, okay, and your creative gifts, so that and provide you with all the step-by-step structure so that you can relax and know what you do next, because it can be really overwhelming if you have spiritual gifts and you see a lot, you feel a lot about places and the land and about people and about buildings, and you see sacred geometries and you receive light codes, and there's things are happening, right, within you in your inner realm, and you can see things. You need to be able to discern, okay? You need to be able to discern. Organize your thoughts, organize your observations, all right? And be able to successfully apply that to your design work, okay? And I have all the steps for you to be able to do that. You're going to be able to roll up your sleeves. There's a lot of practical application in the certification program, okay? This is not just all theory, all right? It's not going to be boring. We're going to have a lot of fun. And we will have a graduation ceremony in Ephesus, the ancient city, outside of Izmir, Turkey. It's across the Greek islands. It is one of the biggest power places in the world. So you're going to have the distinct honor of receiving your sacred blueprint certification in this amongst the ancient temples of Ephesus. That's so much fun. It's an initiation, women, and I know you know. You can feel it. The ones who know that this is what you're meant to do. This is your superpower. What did Rodela say? She said, I love being Superman. No more clothes changing. It's liberating and scary at the same time, but mostly just and easier. Yeah. Easier. It's liberating and scary at the same time, but it's easier in the end. It is. My relationship with my husband has changed. I'm a better mother. I'm going to just keep on saying it over and over again. I am blessed with amazing health and energy. And I get to travel and have fun and schedule my time as I want to. It doesn't mean I'm not responsible. I have a team and I show up for my team. I have clients and I show up for them, right? And sometimes there are parts of me where I'm like, another meeting, like, okay, we're human, right? We have all these parts. But, is it really worth continuing to hide in your hole just because you don't wanna? Or just because you're scared that you're going to be judged, just because you're scared that you're not going to make any money, just because blah, 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 blah. Look, you have me as a template. That's what's coming forward right now. You have me, and you've got the other women in the certification program as a template. We're gonna be doing this together. All right. And you also have ancient wisdom as a template. In the ancient times, architects were priests and priestesses. I'm talking about more the temple architects, right? And it's time we bring that spirit back again, but in a fun and contemporary way, okay? I don't like using the word accessible because I'm not here to try to make everyone happy. I'm not here to be accessible to everyone. Not everyone can enter and access my temple. Okay, I don't want to be all nicey and try to paint this picture trying to fit into every single group or in society or whatever, right? No. There are so many clients and people on this world who want your spiritual gifts because they're spiritual themselves. And then you don't need to prove anything. You don't need to convert people. Okay, and that's also not a good thing anyway. We don't want to convert anybody. Okay, everyone has their own path. Everyone has their own path, and we must respect that. All right, I'm done. I love you all. Share in the comments if this resonated with you. Who are you? I don't know some of you. Some of you I do know. Some of you I don't. Does this resonate with you? Are you all creators and builders of the new earth? Are you architects? Are you interior architects? Are you landscape architects? Are you builders? Or are you wanting to build and birth your own dream sanctuary? Share or send me a PM. Okay? All right. So, time limiters here. June 18th is the final day for you to submit your application for the certification program. Sign up via the link in the bio, the Sacred Blueprint Certification Program. Sign up for application details. You're going to get access to 2 walkthrough videos. Watch those walkthrough videos from beginning to end. You will have most of your, I'm assuming, maybe all, your questions answered regarding the certification program, okay? If you still have a question, send me an email or PM me, okay? Anything else that you need to know? Just apply, all right? Applying doesn't mean that you're committing yet, okay? And it also doesn't guarantee that you'll be accepted. I am curating a select constellation of women architects for this program. And I'm very selective, and you need to be willing to do what it takes to master spiritual energetic property design. And yeah. And take the time to really activate your purpose and your future with your words in the application. All right. I don't accept 2 or 3 word answers. Okay. We are really having issues right now with people's attention span and patience. And everyone is rushing. Everyone is rushing. I'm not saying that everyone who's applying is rushing. I've got some amazing applications in. All I'm saying is that we can have a tendency to want to do that and just scroll really fast and like, okay, let's get to the point, Read all the instructions at the top of the form, okay? And I want answers where applicable that are a minimum of 2 or 3 sentences long, all right? With specificity and detail. I want to know what your visions are, what your purpose is, what the legacy you want to leave is. There's a lot of great questions in there. And a lot of women who apply for the program are like, wow, even just like applying was a process for me and helped me to anchor so much about my vision and mission, and really helped me get clear of where I've actually been blocking myself. So it's like, oh, that's great, you know. People tell me that I'm good at asking questions, and I've had great support behind the scenes through my business coach, Kendra Thornbury, who I just need to mention right now. She's just stellar, and she's supported me to build this incredible business. And yeah. So women, June 18th, you've got 3 days to apply for the Sacred Blueprint Certification Program. And I want to see you in this container. The ones who really hear the call to step into the ancient temple builder of the future they are, and who are ready to up-level their design practice. Maybe some of you are ready to quit corporate or quit conventional architecture. Some of you are ready to ditch the depletion, ditch the overwork, right? Ditch the grind. Some of you may be working on your own already, but you're still operating in that old paradigm, and you're fed up, and you know that your next level, because you've been going through spiritual awakenings, because you've been going through your own, maybe perhaps dark night of the soul, right? And you're receiving the signs, body, mind, spirit, environment, right? The signs that it is time that you step into your priestess architect. A sign that you must be a spirit architect. And that you need to pioneer the sanctuaries of our new earth. I look forward to your applications. Everything is in the link in the bio. Is there anything? Can I even put it in a comment here? Ooh, I'm making it even easier for you. The Sacred Blueprint Certification Program. Click the link and you'll get the program and application details. All right. Looking forward to your applications. June 18th is the deadline. All right. Bye.